What the hell? Look at this. Bump, 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 bump. That's work. That's home. That's work. That's home. What, this guy? He goes 2 places every day all week?
Man, I just got done diving into a banger post on the Gen X subreddit, and it was just titled, Who Else Has 0 Friends? And he made an important distinction right away. I mean, he didn't mean acquaintances. He didn't mean people you wave to. He meant somebody you can call right friggin' now. Somebody you could meet for lunch, someone you could joke around with, somebody you could actually hang out with. Now, he's 47, married, has a kid, and goes weeks sometimes without talking to anyone besides his wife and kid. And what hit me wasn't just the post that summed up my entire adult life, it was the replies, man. Because thousands of people identified with it, and a whole lot of Gen X voices basically said the same damn thing. Yeah, same here. In that subtle, non-enthusiastic Gen X way. And honestly, that's what makes this worth talking about. Because this isn't just about one guy feeling lonely. Man, this feels more like one of those uncomfortable Gen X truths nobody really says out loud, but we're going to talk about it right here. A lot of people our age look up one day and realize their social circle didn't explode, and it didn't end in one big dramatic moment. It just slowly disappeared. One friend moved away, right? Another got buried in work, as we all do. Another got swallowed up by family life. And another just drifted to parts unknown. And for some people, this part was brutal. Some of their friends just up and died. Because, gang, we ain't kids no more. That was one of the hardest things to hear, really. There were multiple versions of most of my friends are dead, or all my friends either moved away, passed away, or have families of their own now. And that seems super heavy. And I think a lot of Gen X people are carrying that around quietly. You know, the psychology of Gen X is amazing and never ending. Because this is a generation that was raised to be self-contained. Man, don't complain, don't be needy, handle your business, right? Figure it out, and keep moving. We were taught how to survive a lot of things, but not necessarily how to build and maintain close friendships in midlife. Because if you're like me, you never thought the ones you had at 18, the ones you had at 12, would ever really end. Especially men, because we are super dopey. A lot of men know how to be around people. They know how to work with people. They know how to joke with people, and they know how to watch a game, go to work, make small talk, be friendly more or less. Lately, maybe less. But deep friendship, real friendship, the kind where you could pick up the phone and say, man, I'm having a rough day. Or, hey, want to grab lunch? Or, man, I just need to get out of the house. A lot of men were never taught how to do that on purpose, or more importantly, for themselves, for their well-being. Because that was ours to deal with, not anyone else's. God forbid it was someone else's problem. And when you're younger, it almost doesn't matter because friendships happen automatically, right? School does the work for you. The neighborhood does the work for you. Early jobs do the work for you. Bars do the work for you. Man, they put it overtime. And dating years, they do the work for you too. You are constantly around people at the exact same stage of life. Then middle age hits. And suddenly friendship stops being automatic, right? Now it takes intention. And that's where a lot of people get stuck. Some of us have group chats, but we know that weeks go by without anyone posting anything. And that right there says a lot. Even when the connection technically still exists, it's pretty thin, it's passive, it's quiet. Hell, it's half asleep. I think increasingly most married Gen X men really only lean on their wife and kids to talk to, and those conversations are likely not deep either. But they are familiar, right? They're safe. They're predictable. Some of us can be divorced, never had kids, man, cared for both parents until they passed, and never really felt like we fit in anywhere. Friendships take time and they take effort, and people honestly have become less tolerant, less forgiving, less willing to invest in each other seemingly year after year. And that hits, because I think that's another part of this story. It's not just loneliness, it's guardedness. Is that even a word? Guardedness? Feels like it should be. Either way, people are tired. People are disappointed. People been burned. They've had fake friends, flaky friends, selfish friends, man, opportunistic friends. Another valid point in my opinion was that some of us don't tolerate foolishness or fakeness anymore, and that makes it harder to connect in general. Psychology would say that it's a lack of trust, not giving someone the benefit of the doubt. It's like we were all just waiting to get hurt, and hell man, we just do it first. And that's real too. Honestly, by this age, a lot of people don't have the patience they had at 25. They don't want drama. They don't want nonsense. They don't want someone else's BS. They don't want to force chemistry. And honestly, I get that. But there's a downside to that kind of hard-earned selectiveness. It protects your peace for sure, but sometimes it also locks the door. And then there's the marriage piece. A lot of Gen X people, especially married people, have watched their spouse become their entire social world almost by default. Not because that was the plan, not because it's bad, but because everybody else slowly fell away. And if you're lucky enough to have a good spouse, man, that helps a hell of a lot. But even then, one person can't be everything, and I can see how resentment can start to build because they don't always want to be your everything. That's a hard load for them to carry. They can't be your partner, your best friend, your comic relief, your sounding board, your only companion, your whole community, your whole world. Oh man, that is too much weight for one relationship, and it is super one-sided. And there's a good amount of us that understand that, and some that struggle in their marriage because we just aren't looking at things the same way. There's that Gen X psychology again. I mean, this wasn't really people saying, I hate my life. It was way more specific than that. It was people saying, I miss conversation. I miss joking around. I miss just having people. And for me, I miss feeling relaxed around a group I felt safe with. I miss farting in a room of friends. There, I said it. That aspect feels different, and I think a lot of people know exactly what that means. Now, to be fair, not everybody is likely devastated by this drift, this isolation. Some people are just loners, and man, do they thrive being alone and just enjoying their peace, their thoughts, their hobbies. Some seem almost relieved to not have to deal with people's drama or unreliability. And, that matters too. Because being alone and being lonely are not always the same thing. Some people genuinely do like peace. You'd be crazy not to. Some people would rather have one good spouse, a dog, and a quiet house than a bunch of half friends and social obligations, man. Commitments, drama, active calendars to check. The thought of the scenario gives me the shivers, man. And honestly, I think there's nothing wrong with that. And there's still a difference between choosing peace and realizing you might not really have anybody to lean on when it's time to lean. There's the line. That's the thing this post tapped into, in my opinion. It wasn't saying everybody needs a giant circle. It wasn't saying everybody needs to be out every weekend. It wasn't saying you should be surrounded by people all the time. Oh, God forbid. It was asking something way, way simpler. Do you have anyone? And a whole lot of people answered in a way that tells me this is bigger than one goofy thread on Reddit. So why does this happen so much in midlife? Personally, when I sit with it, I think it comes down to a few things. First, friendship in youth is built on proximity. You see the same people over and over. School, work, neighborhood, bars, sports, man, whatever. That repetition builds that bond. Second, midlife wipes out a lot of free space. Work gets heavier, kids need things, parents get older, bodies hurt more, money stress grows, we know that. People stop saying yes to things. Third, grief starts entering the chat, right? That's a brutal sentence, but it's true. By this point, some people aren't just dealing with drifting friendships, man, they're dealing with funerals. And fourth, a lot of people don't know how to make new friends as adults without it feeling awkward or forced. We know how to be polite. We don't always know how to move from polite to real. And in my case, I always assume Dan has a wildly close friend group and he doesn't need another friend. And when he says, hey, let's go fishing or whatever, I take it as, that's just something people say. He doesn't want me there. And fifth and finally, I think Gen X in particular has a strong independent streak that helps us survive, but doesn't always help us connect. We can go a long time without admitting we need people. Until one day, it gets quiet enough that we finally hear it. Come on, man, what do you do with that? That's the hard part, because there's no magic answer. But the conversation did hint at a few things. For instance, clubs. One guy said he joined a motorcycle club and a remote control boat club and made friends that way. And honestly, that sounds awesome. Another mentioned the golf league and the Lions Club, which honestly is something I thought only our parents did. But here we are, also someone's parents most likely. Somebody also mentioned church as a place where stronger friendships had formed. That all points to the same idea, right? Adult friendship usually doesn't start with a deep conversation. It starts with just repeated contact. Same place, same people, same routine. That's how most real connections really get built. Not through one big emotional speech, not through downloading an app and suddenly finding your new best friend. Usually it starts by showing up somewhere more than once. That's not exciting advice, but it's likely true. You don't build friendship by hunting for friendship. You build it by putting yourself back into some kind of shared rhythm with other people. And that 100% is forcing yourself to be uncomfortable. But after 53 years, the one solid truth I know is discomfort builds strength. That usually your own forced discomfort will always lead to growth of some sort. And yeah, that could be awkward. Especially if you're out of practice. Especially if part of you already believes it won't work. And especially if you've gotten comfortable staying home. But I think that's the now what part of this conversation. If this is happening to you, it probably doesn't mean there's something uniquely wrong with you. It probably means you're living through something a lot of Gen X people are living through at the same time due to our shared psychology. A slow, quiet collapse of casual community. And if that's true, then maybe the answer isn't shame or awkwardness about it. Maybe the answer is being a little more honest about it. Maybe it's reaching out first. Maybe it's saying yes once in a while. And maybe it's joining the thing, even if you feel dumb doing it. Maybe it's accepting that close friendship at this age is less about chemistry and more about consistency. And maybe it's admitting that independence is great, but nobody was built to do all of life with no circle at all. That's really what I took from the whole 20 minutes worth of reading. Not that Gen X is weak, hell, not that Gen X is broken. Just that a lot of Gen X is lonelier than it lets on. And maybe a lot more people need to hear, no, you are not the only one, than anyone realized. How many real friends do you have right now? Not followers, not acquaintances, not somebody you used to know that you still see pictures of on Facebook. I mean real friends. People you could actually call today. Because judging by that conversation, a whole lot of people are sitting with that question right now. All right, thanks for listening, gang. I'll see you in the comments below. I love you.